Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and iOS 12.1.3 has been out for a few days. I still have it installed on my iPhone 8 Plus, and I thought we'd talk about how it's been not only for me, but for all of you as well in the YouTube community poll. Now, one thing I wanted to note is that if you go into the settings, it does not seem to freeze anymore. In fact, no one actually commented saying they were still having this issue. So that's a really good sign. It doesn't seem to freeze ever. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. It may occasionally just stop for a second, but it doesn't freeze to where you can't do anything and you have to close it out. So that part's really good. That has not been that good for a while, at least. Now, as far as battery and things, now I've been using iOS 12.1.3 on my XS Max and 10R. And I wanted to show you the 10R first because this one I used for a few days with 12.1.3. Now this is still on 12.1.3 as well. So if I go to battery, you'll see battery health is at 100%. And I haven't used it the past couple days, but if you look at the past 8 days or so, this was with 12.1.3, and I wasn't getting very good screen on time. In fact, it was only lasting me about 4 hours, and then I'd have 20 or 30% left. So it has not been great on 12.1.3. And actually, iOS 12.2 Beta 1 has been about the same on my XS Max. So if I go here, again, go to battery, the health is still 100%. And if you take a look over the last 10 days, this is iOS 12.1.3, and then it goes to the beta here. So it's not so great. Prior to that, I was getting 8 or 9 hours of battery life, and many of you had comments about this as well. Now, I wanted to cover a couple things I didn't with iOS 12.2 Beta 1, and many of you have been asking me, when can I get that? It's not out for the public beta testers yet, and Apple hasn't released it. Sometimes they skip the first beta and then they make the second beta to developers the first one for beta, public beta. So it can be a little bit confusing. But right now there's one feature that many of us missed. If we go to settings and we go to screen time, in downtime under screen time, if you turn it on, you can now customize the days. That's something new. Wasn't there before. You can customize it if you want to use it, or turn it off if you don't. Now, another thing is in the beta, there's actually reference for new iPad models and iPod Touch models, which is interesting, or one model. And there's also a new font in the code, a new San Francisco font. So we'll see some changes at least. Now, again, settings isn't locking up in the current one, and battery is just okay. Now, after reading through all the comments on all of these, on the YouTube community poll, on all of the different things you had to say, there were about 3 things that most of you said regularly. And that was, it's fast and smooth with good performance, or it has poor battery life and poor performance, or it has LTE and or Wi-Fi connectivity issues. So it's kind of interesting that some people are having a great experience, some people are having a poor experience, and it doesn't seem to carry over to certain devices or anything. So it's kind of up in the air as far as that goes. Now, as you can see with the poll, there's about 5,900 votes total. 56% of you said it's great. 8% said terrible, which is up from 5% last time. 15% said it's okay, but some bugs. And 22% of you are on the new beta. Now, there's over 270, or there is 270 comments. I've read every single one of them, and that's how I compiled that list. So for, I would say, more than half of you have good battery life, but quite a few of you have poor battery life. Now, if we look over some of the comments, I don't want to read too many because 270 is quite a lot, but you'll see there's people here like this that say it's doing good on the XS Max. There's other people that say battery life is worse. If we go through some more comments, you'll see okay, but some glitches here and there. Not that bad, though. On iPhone XS Max, iOS 12.1.3 battery life seems to be decreased for me. Beta 4 was the best so far, in my opinion, on battery life. iOS 12.1.3, but final release seems really smooth and fluid. Hopefully it gets better. I'd have to agree. Beta 3 and Beta 4 of this particular version had much better battery life so far. Works great on my SE, battery life becomes better, performance also smoother. You'll see XS Max battery drains a lot more maybe than usual. Tell me some way to downgrade it. You have to use iTunes to do that. Great so far, and I'm on iPhone 7. Battery life for health is at 100%. LTE connectivity issues on Canadian carriers. Great on iPhone 7, iPhone XR, and iPad Pro 3 on on iPhone is great. On iPad, the Wi-Fi disconnects randomly. I haven't seen that on iPads. I haven't seen a whole lot of complaints on iPads, so I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. No complaints on my 8 Plus. The performance on my LTE connection is improved, but Wi-Fi is still weak on iPhone 10. My iPhone 6 performs worse than on iOS 12.1.2. The recent update eats more RAM than my phone no longer is able to open 3 apps simultaneously, meaning they probably reload when you tap on them to switch between them. Touch ID authentication prompts took longer to show, and that recent update makes my iPhone 6 no longer suitable for my daily needs. That's pretty bad. That's the first time I've heard that one, though. I'm using iPhone 6s. Battery life is good, and system UI is fluid. Volume bug down, and the control center still exists. I can't mute it at the first time. And then works great on my SE. You'll see I thought everyone would be having the same battery life, but I guess my battery life dropped majorly. No issues. So it's very hit or miss, like I said. So that's pretty much it for this update. Battery life hasn't been phenomenal for me, but it'll get better in the future, I'm sure. And I can't wait for iOS 13. I can't wait to see a full redesign, and hopefully they actually do that like they said they were going to last year and postponed it to this year for stability. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Of course, I'll link the wallpaper as I always do. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.